We're going to get to a bunch of different things today. We're going to move around. I want to get to the next topic. It's brought to us by Prize Picks. Every day we make decisions, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss the excitement of this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is such a fun, simple way to add more excitement to football. You just pick more or less on player projections like Josh Allen passing yards, Saquon Barkley rushing for a touchdown, and you're in the game. Download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5. That's code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 in lineups after your first 5. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. G, we talked about this on the postgame show, so I want to give you the floor first on this one. But defensively, the Browns blitzed fewer times than they had basically all season. They blitzed just 19% of dropbacks for Tua. They ran some simulated pressure looks, including the Grant Delpit delayed blitz that led to a late interception. Yeah. It was arguably the most creative defensively we had seen the Browns under Jim Schwartz in the last 2 seasons. In your mind, why did Jim Schwartz decide this was the time to unlock the defensive creativity and give the Dolphins some different looks they hadn't seen before? And the results obviously speak for themselves.
Because people was chirping during the week. I love pressure. This is what I like. When you get pressure, your defensive players is coming out talking more than ever. When you got guys saying, like Grant Delpit said, they don't know how to win. I don't know what it feels like to win. I made the joke. Listen, when your wife comes into you and says, you say, hey, how's it doing? How you doing today, babe? How was work? And she says, work just like the rest of my life, something's going to have to give. Whoa, hey, bro, you might want to.
It's a red flag.
Hey, bro, you might want to sit down. Give her your passcode. You might want to get some flowers and some chocolate straw. So when she say something got to give, and it's in dirt, yeah, I'm letting you dudes know right now. Don't be like G. Bush. Don't let it go over your head. But by the way, when Myles Garrett says, "Hey, listen, let me knock on your door. Hey, I know we can get home before, and I am the defensive player of the year. I get all that. But can you give me a little help, bro? I mean, we can get home before, but give me a little pressure. Just sneak up and act like you're going to blitz once in a while. You know how hard it is to play rushing 4 and playing man coverage in the back end? You know how taxing that is on people? There's no room for error, no margin for error. So he says, give me something. So Jim Schwartz comes in and cooks up. Now, Jim, he's a solid coach. Jim knows what he's going to do, and he's not going to deviate too much. He said, now, Myles, we're going to have to give you a give and take here. You said you want blitzes. I'm still not going to blitz. We only going to rush 4, but we're going to bring it from other different places.
Different 4.
Yeah, we're going to, and Myles said, I'll compromise. But you see what happens. I saw Tua confused. I saw Tua holding the football. And in the last interception, he just threw the ball up for grabs. This is what happens when you can confuse people and you can go off schedule. I like the fact that he says something. And look, just because somebody says something don't mean it's negative. Don't mean that people is going crazy. I like pressure. When you 1-5, you better switch something up. When you 1-5 and playing the Dolphins in the Fire Bowl, you better come in with a new game plan and a new mindset. And I like the fact that the pressure was put on, and you saw what happened. I like the wrinkles. Now here's the thing: the Browns at home is a different story. Can you do that on the road?
I think part of the reason they did it is what you're saying, the greasy wheel, Myles Garrett.
Squeaky wheel.
Greasy wheel, squeaky wheel.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
I've never heard of a greasy wheel.
That sounds like a greasy wheel is silent. You don't hear it.
It is quiet.
That sounds like a wing spot. Hey, man, you were trying to go to the greasy wheel?
The greasy wheel.
I dropped the ball on that one.
Fire garlic Parmesan wings.
But
start over.
It's also that the Dolphins are the worst team the Browns have faced, right? Tua's the worst, well, outside of Carson Wentz. Maybe he's worse than Carson Wentz. I don't know. He's clearly one of the worst quarterbacks they've faced all year. A-Chain obviously is one of the best backs in the league, and Waddle's a solid receiver. But the rest of their skill position talent on Miami is garbage. Their offensive line is garbage. And so the Browns knew they could take more chances and be more creative against the Dolphins. Also, they've probably figured that their offense would be able to do at least a little bit against the Dolphins because the Dolphins' defense stinks. So they were able to take chances more in this game as opposed to when they've played, which is the case in the first 6 weeks, outside of Minnesota, when they've played against other teams with much better quarterback play.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, you're not going to do that against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Right. It's just, not as much.
Yeah. No.
Maybe they should, but you're going to play more conservatively.
I'm a mix of you guys, exactly. The way I saw it was the Browns blitzed Jim Schwartz this week. It was a safety blitz. They sent Myles Garrett, but they also sent Grant Delpit. Grant Delpit's comments, guys, were heavy. Grant Delpit's comments were red flags and alarm bells ringing. When you have a player on the team at week 6 talking about, well, I don't even remember what it feels like to win, and you could hear what he wanted to say in his voice between his words, if that makes sense. Same with Myles Garrett. When Myles was talking about Joe Flacco and his performance at Cincinnati, you were there, weren't you? Didn't you say you were going to go over there for that?
Yeah, but Myles takes too long to talk on Friday, so I left before he
Okay.
talked.
I thought the Myles Garrett sound was very telling because, yes, he used words to convey messages, but you could have had the sound down and you could have explained, you could have looked at him and said, that's a beaten man right there. All of his nonverbal communication, it was screaming, help. I think he might have even been blinking in Morse code, SOS. Mm-hmm. These guys want to win. And what I love most about it, and Bull, I think you're right, I think Jim Schwartz wouldn't have done this if it was before the Pittsburgh week because Aaron Rodgers is going to eat that kind of pressure up. He always does. But knowing that it's Tua, knowing that he's wounded, the team is wounded, they're playing without their deep threat, their coach is swimming for his life.
Yeah.
I think it all added up to the perfect storm, and Jim said, you know what? And you're right. I don't think we're going to see a new, different Jim Schwartz moving forward because it worked.
Yeah.
He deviates here and there, very little. He's got his core principles, his tent poles of defense that he adheres to, and he's not going to veer from those. But I think yesterday was a great example of a coach who is pretty tied to doing something one way, saying, I'm reading the room. I'm hearing what they want to do. Maybe we've got the horses to do it. Let them run.
Yeah, and I think we could see it against New England, who, even though New England's playing well, they have a young quarterback,
Right.
and they don't have elite skill position players.
They don't.
And then the Jets, obviously, are a total
Did
disaster.
Travion Henderson get hurt yesterday?
I don't
No,
know.
he's
but
just
he's
deep in the
Oh my
doghouse.
God, he had
very-
2 carries for 5 yards. What did he do?
Buried in
Deep in
Vrabel's
the doghouse.
What did he do? Do we know?
They
Lack of toughness, maybe.
Prefer Stevenson.
I know one thing with Mike is toughness. If you don't have it.
Back. Now listen, Drake May is a young quarterback, but
playing great.
He don't be playing.
He looked
young.
he's
really
playing
good
great.
yesterday.
He don't be playing young. I don't like that.
Question for you guys real quick.
Well, hold on. Jason didn't
Jay
hear.
I mean, you guys covered it. There's not.
Well, this is about the defense because it'll lead Jason to what he's getting to.
Yeah.
They had 4 takeaways yesterday. 3 on defense, 1 on special teams. Do you remember the last time the Browns had 4 takeaways in one game?
Was it? I'm throwing out a guess.
Bengals in 23?
Is it
Arizona, Clayton Tune.
Nope, not that.
was it the?
It's been in the UCSS era.
I
It's the
lost
only-
you
It's
on
in
that
the
game.
UCSS era. That's why I'm asking. We had a.
It was?
We had a Victory Monday show about that game.
23? Was it in 23?
It was in 23.
It wasn't the Bengals game?
Was not the Bengals in 23.
The Ravens?
No, sir, was not the
They
Ravens.
played a lot of crappy quarterbacks.
Yeah, they did have some bad
In
teams in
23.
there.
Ironically, I'll give you a hint because this is fun. They gave up 38 points in the game while forcing 4 turnovers. They still forced 4 turnovers.
Oh, my God.
They lost?
They won the game.
Oh.
38.
It had to be 41-38.
I just looked at their schedule from 23 yesterday, so I should know this.
Is it the Texans?
Gardner Minshew. The game.
Oh,
Gardner-
yeah. That was a wild game.
That's when
nuts.
Miles jumped.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that is when Miles
Miles
jumped.
won that game.
It's a little different because it wasn't necessarily interceptions, but they
Yeah,
had.
right.
But that was the last time the Browns forced 4 turnovers a game. It was literally 2 years ago to the day. It was Week 7 of 2023.
Man.
4 turnovers against Dolphins yesterday, 2025, Week 7.
They had a safety that game, didn't they?
They had a strip sack in the end zone.
Oh,
to
okay,
touchdown.
gotcha. Yeah,
Yesterday
gotcha.
was the
Jason,
most,
you were saying, I didn't mean to cut you off. but I
yesterday
wanted
was
to
the most
mention
lopsided
that.
win since Arizona. That
Yeah.
Clayton Tune game, they won by, I think, 27 that game. I got nothing to add. These guys covered it, except, did you say they blitzed less yesterday?
They did. Let me find the exact stat.
That's
I believe it was
surprising because
19%.
watching it live, it felt like they blitzed more.
Well, you know what? That means their blitzes were impactful.
Like
we
just
remember
watching
them.
the game live, I thought like they really sort of cut loose yesterday more than usual.
Yeah.
If the numbers say they blitzed less, that's surprising. That's really
But
surprising.
next gen. So according to next gen, they only blitzed Tua on 19.2% of his dropbacks.
Now,
interesting.
to give them a perspective, what is the definition of blitz?
More than 4.
A five man.
I wonder, though.
And then what you're right. What they were doing was they were sending 4, but not the 4 that they were advertising.
Yeah.
They were dropping out and
And then
sending
bring somebody.
defensive backs in.
I also
That's
wonder
confusing.
if, like, later in the game they stopped. It seemed like they stopped blitzing in the second half because they were up so big.
That could be true.
You didn't want to
too.
just
Yeah.
give up a big
Maybe.
play.
It
Maybe.
felt like they were
Early in the
really
game, it
bringing-
felt like they were blitzing a
Yes.
lot.
I wonder, does it
Yes.
say what how efficient those blitzes were? It seems like the blitzes were impactful. Like they were getting sacks and turnovers on blitzes, it felt like.
I mean, Tua's success rate was abysmal.
Bad.
So, like,
Yeah,
I mean, literally abysmal.
I don't know
So
what he was thinking on that
Didn't
last
you
throw.
have numbers in your 5-pack of stats about this?
how Tua is much better when he's blitzed with more guys and much worse when you get pressure with
Yeah.
4. Yeah.
All you want to really now, I think when you have blitzes, more than anything, you just want to give people the illusion of it, or where is it coming from? Like if you make a quarterback have to diagnose or think, okay, well, is this guy coming or not? It gives you another another second possibly that guys can cover or keep, in the back end. It gives you another opportunity for you guys to get home. And the way the defensive line plays, they're penetrators, and so they'll figure a way to get there. I like what Myles Garrett said is just, hey, look, I know we can do this. We know we got 4 guys that can get home. We've seen this happen. But just give us a little something to give us another opportunity, another second to get home if you give them a different look.
All right, any other thoughts on defense? We're ready to move on. I think we're going to get through a bunch of these relatively quickly today, which is good because I have some fun stuff at the end. But let's